The Frontier's Edge moved into position across from the massive Zephyrian dreadnought Stellar Dominance. Jake Morrison watched through the main viewer as the enemy ship turned to face them. The alien vessel looked like a floating fortress, with weapon ports glowing red along its dark hull. Behind both ships, the alien observer fleet spread out in a wide circle to watch the coming battle. "All stations report ready, Captain," Rick Hayes called from his weapons console. "Energy shields at maximum power," reported Kate Wilson from the defense station. "Communications are clear, sir," Amy Brooks said from her position. Dr. Lisa Carter looked up from her science station. "I'm reading massive energy buildup from the Zephyrian ship. They're charging all weapon systems." Jake stood in the center of the bridge and opened a channel to the entire ship. "All hands, this is the captain. Battle stations. Today we fight not just for our lives but for humanity's future among the stars." War Commander Thexval's voice boomed across the communication system. "Human vessel, the formal combat begins now. Fight well and die with honor." The Stellar Dominance opened fire immediately. Dozens of plasma cannons erupted in brilliant flashes of energy that streaked across space toward the human ship. The Frontier's Edge shook as the energy bolts struck their shields. Warning lights flashed on the bridge as power levels fluctuated. "Shields down to 80%, Kate reported. "Those are some serious weapons, Captain." Jake gripped his command chair as another volley hit them. "Rick, return fire with conventional weapons. Make it look good." The human ship's energy weapons responded with bright beams that lanced out toward the Zephyrian dreadnought. The alien ship's shields absorbed the attack easily, just as Jake had expected. "Their shields aren't even dropping," Rick said with frustration. "Keep firing," Jake ordered. "We need to follow the rules for now." The two ships exchanged energy fire for several minutes. The Stellar Dominance had far more weapons, but the Frontier's Edge was faster and harder to hit. Plasma bolts and laser beams lit up the space between them, while both ships maneuvered for better positions. Amy monitored the alien communications. "Captain, the observers are getting bored. Some of the ships are starting to move away." "What are they saying?" "The Valdari representative just called our weapons pathetically weak, and the Helix commander said this fight will be over soon." Jake smiled grimly. "They have no idea what's coming." Another massive barrage from the Zephyrian ship rocked the Frontier's Edge. Sparks flew from several consoles and the lights dimmed momentarily. "Shields down to 60%, Kate called out. "We can't take much more of this, sir." War Commander Thexval's voice filled the bridge again. "Your weapons are like children's toys, human. Surrender now and I will make your death quick." Jake opened the return channel. "We're just getting started, War Commander." The alien laughed, harshly. "Then die slowly if you prefer." The Stellar Dominance increased its rate of fire. Energy bolts hammered the human ship faster and harder. Jake could see his shield levels dropping steadily on the tactical display. "Sir," Rick said quietly, "the railgun is ready. I have a clear shot at their center mass." Jake watched the enemy ship through the viewer. The massive alien vessel hung in space like an arrogant predator playing with its prey. War Commander Thexval clearly believed victory was certain. "Not yet," Jake said. "Let them get comfortable." The energy exchange continued for 30 minutes. To the watching aliens, it looked like a standard duel between unequal opponents. The human ship was clearly outgunned and would lose eventually. Several observer ships had already left to attend more interesting events. "Shields down to 40%, Captain," Kate reported with concern in her voice. 20 more minutes of this and we'll be in real trouble," Rick added. Jake studied the tactical display. The Zephyrian ship had moved closer. confident in its superiority. War Commander Thexval was probably enjoying the slow destruction of the upstart humans. "The alien ship is at optimal range, sir," Rick said quietly. Jake took a deep breath. "Amy, record this moment for the history books." "Recording, sir." Jake looked around his bridge at the crew who had followed him into this impossible situation. "Rick, fire the railgun!" Firing railgun I. Commander Rick Hayes pressed the firing control on his console. Deep in the ship's belly, magnetic coils, charged with enormous amounts of energy. The railgun's projectile, a 50-kilogram depleted uranium round with a tungsten core, accelerated down the barrel faster than any bullet ever fired. There was no flash of light, no energy signature, no warning of any kind. The projectile left the frontier's edge at 12 kilometers per second, moving faster than most alien sensors could track. The tungsten-cored round hit the stellar dominant's dead center and punched through the alien ship like it was made of paper. The projectile passed completely through the massive dreadnought from bow to stern, leaving a perfectly round hole 3 meters wide. For several seconds, nothing happened. The stellar dominance continued flying forward as if nothing had occurred. Then internal explosions began erupting along the ship's length as the projectile's path caused catastrophic damage to vital systems. The silence that followed was absolute. Every communication channel in the sector went dead. The observer ships stopped moving as if frozen in space. Even the background hum of engines and life support systems seemed muted. War Commander Thexval's voice returned to the communication system, but now it sounded shocked and confused. "What? What did you do?" "Our shields registered no energy impact." Jake opened the channel. "We fired a projectile, War Commander, a solid metal round traveling at high velocity." "Impossible. Kinetic weapons are forbidden. They have been banned for millennia." "Banned by whom?" Jake asked. "We never agreed to any such ban." The alien observer ships suddenly came alive with frantic communications. Amy's console lit up with dozens of incoming signals, all speaking at once. "Captain," Amy said with amazement, "every alien ship in the area is trying to contact us at the same time." "What are they saying?" Amy listened to the translation system working overtime. "They're using terms I've never heard before. Metal death, silent thunder, the old terror, returns." Dr. Lisa Carter checked her sensors. "The Zephyrian ship is losing power and atmosphere. They're badly damaged, but still intact." Jake opened a channel to War Commander Thexval. "Do you yield?" The alien's response came slowly. We yield. Your victory is acknowledged, Human Morrison, but..." Jake noticed something strange happening with the observer fleet. Instead of congratulating the winner or discussing the fight, the alien ships were moving away from both human and Zephyrian vessels. "Amy, what's happening with the other ships?" "They're activating some kind of emergency protocol, sir. I'm detecting high-energy transmissions being sent in all directions." Lisa checked her readings. "Those look like warning broadcasts. They're sending alerts to every system in this part of the galaxy." Rick studied his weapon systems. "Captain, several alien ships are powering up their weapons. I don't think they're targeting the Zephyrians." Jake realized what was happening. "They're not afraid of us winning the duel. They're afraid of what we used to win it." Amy's face went pale as she listened to more alien communications. "Sir, I'm picking up references to something called Silent Protocol. It sounds like some kind of galaxy-wide emergency procedure." "Emergency procedure for what?" "For preventing the spread of kinetic weapon technology." Jake looked at the tactical display showing alien ships taking defensive positions around his vessel. "Are they planning to attack us?" "I don't think so, sir," Amy replied. I think they're planning to make sure we never leave this system. The victory that should have established humanity's place in galactic society had instead triggered something far more dangerous. Jake realized they had not just won a duel, they had accidentally reminded the galaxy of its greatest fear. The news of the upcoming duel spread through the galaxy faster than light itself. Within hours of War Commander Thexval's challenge, ships from every major alien civilization began arriving at the neutral zone. The Valdari Collective sent 3 of their crystal ships that looked like floating diamonds. The nomadic fleets brought their massive haulers filled with spectators. Even the mysterious crystalline hierarchy sent a single black ship that hung at the edge of the gathering like a dark omen. Lieutenant Amy Brooks monitored the communications traffic from her station on the bridge. Every few minutes she heard new voices joining the galactic chatter about the coming fight. The aliens spoke in dozens of languages, but the translation computers worked overtime to convert everything into human speech. "Captain," Amy called out, "you need to hear this." Jake Morrison walked over to her station. Amy played back a recorded transmission from a Valdari ship. "The new species calls itself human," the crystal voice said. "They show courage but lack understanding of galactic power structures. War Commander Thexval will teach them their place quickly." Amy switched to another channel. "This is from the Helix Confederation, sir." A blue alien's voice filled the bridge. "Betting pools are opening across 17 systems. Current odds favor the Zephyrians at 50-1. Some pools offer side bets on how many shots the human ship will survive." Jake shook his head. "They think this is entertainment." Dr. Lisa Carter looked up from her science station where she had been working for hours. "Captain, I found something important in the ancient databases. The aliens didn't just forget about kinetic weapons, they actively tried to erase them from history." Jake joined her at the science console. Lisa brought up old files that looked like they had been damaged or corrupted. "These records are over 10,000 years old," she explained. "They mention something called the Kinetic Wars that apparently devastated entire star systems. Look at this entry." Jake read the translated text on her screen. "The metal death returns. Silent thunder breaks all shields. The old ways bring only destruction and sorrow." "There's more," Lisa continued. "According to these fragments, kinetic weapons were so effective that they threatened to destroy galactic civilization. The major powers agreed to ban them completely. Commander Rick Hayes joined them after checking the railgun modifications." "So they made a treaty?" Lisa shook her head. "Not exactly. They went further than that. They destroyed all kinetic weapon technology and removed the knowledge from their databases. Anyone who tried to build kinetic weapons was eliminated." "But why?" Jake asked. Lisa pulled up more ancient files. "From what I can piece together, energy shields became the standard defense against energy weapons, but kinetic projectiles pass right through energy fields like they aren't there. When someone started using kinetic weapons again, they could destroy entire fleets without taking any damage." Rick's eyes widened. "That's exactly what our railgun should do." The aliens forgot how to defend against solid projectiles, Lisa said. "Their shield technology evolved to stop energy, but they have no protection against metal moving at high speed." Jake studied the historical data. "How long has it been since anyone used kinetic weapons in space combat?" "According to these records, over 8,000 years. Multiple generations have passed without anyone even thinking about solid projectiles as weapons." Amy called out from her station. "Captain, I'm getting priority communications from Earth Command." Jake walked over to hear the transmission. Communications specialist Danny Ross appeared on the screen from Earth's military headquarters. "Captain Morrison, Earth Command is monitoring the situation through long-range sensors. Admiral Collins wants to know if you need backup. We can have a battle group to your position in 72 hours. Jake considered the offer. Tell the Admiral that backup ships won't help in a formal duel. This has to be ship against ship according to their rules. Danny looked worried. Sir, the brass is concerned about escalating tensions with these aliens. Maybe you should consider backing down. Backing down now would mark humanity as weak to every hostile force in the galaxy, Jake replied. Sometimes you have to fight to earn respect. Understood, sir. Good luck. The transmission ended and Jake returned to his crew. Rick had been working with Sergeant Ben Parker and Corporal Kate Wilson to modify the railgun systems. The weapon had originally been designed for planetary work, not ship combat. How are the modifications coming? Jake asked. Rick wiped sweat from his forehead. We've managed to increase the projectile velocity and improve targeting systems. The railgun should fire accurately at space combat ranges. What about ammunition? We have 12 depleted uranium rounds with tungsten cores. Each projectile weighs about 50 kilograms and will travel at 12 kilometers per second when fired. Kate looked up from her work. Captain, we've also prepared some surprises. If the first shot doesn't end the fight, we have rounds loaded, with different materials for follow-up shots. Jake nodded. What kind of different materials? Ben answered. Standard tungsten for armor piercing, explosive rounds for area damage, and a special surprise we cooked up using some rare metals from the ship's science lab. Lisa overheard and joined the conversation. What kind of rare metals? Rick grinned. Remember those samples you collected from that asteroid field? The ones with unusual atomic structures? We figured out how to make them unstable on impact. You weaponize my research samples? Lisa asked. Only in case of emergency, Rick said quickly. The first shot should be enough, but it's good to have backup plans, Amy called out again. Captain, the alien fleet is getting bigger. I count 47. Ships from 12 different races now. They're setting up viewing positions around the combat zone. Jake looked at the main screen showing the gathering alien vessels. Any word from the Zephyrians? War Commander Thexval sent a message 30 minutes ago. He says the duel will begin when both ships are in position and all observers are ready. Jake checked the time. How much longer do we have? Lisa looked at her calculations. About 6 hours until the scheduled start time. Jake made a decision. Rick, finish the railgun preparations. Lisa, keep digging through those ancient records. Maybe you can find something about how kinetic weapons were actually used in combat. Amy, monitor all communications and let me know if you hear anything important. The next few hours passed quickly. Rick's team completed their modifications, while Lisa discovered more fragments about the ancient kinetic wars. Amy reported increasing excitement among the alien observers as more ships arrived to watch the duel. As the appointed time approached, Jake gathered his senior staff for a final briefing. The Zephyrians think this will be a standard energy weapon duel, he began. They'll expect us to exchange plasma fire until one ship's shields fail. But we're going to do something they haven't seen in 8,000 years. Rick pulled up a tactical display. The enemy ship is over 3 times our size with heavy armor and powerful shields. In a normal energy weapon fight, they would destroy us in minutes. But they won't be expecting our railgun, Lisa added. Their shields are designed for energy. Weapons only. Jake looked at each of his officers. Everyone understand the plan? They all nodded. Amy's voice interrupted them. Captain, War Commander Thexval is hailing us. Put him on screen. The Zephyrian's scarred face appeared on the main viewer. Behind him, Jake could see the bridge of the enemy dreadnought with dozens of alien warriors at combat stations. Human, Morrison, the time has come. Take your position and prepare to die with honor. Jake straightened his uniform. We're ready, War Commander. May the best ship win. The transmission ended and Jake looked at his crew. This is it, everyone. Today we show the galaxy what humans can do. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the frontier's edge and watched the stars through the main viewing screen. 3 months had passed since humanity first broke through the light barrier and entered the vast darkness between worlds. The ship hummed quietly around him as his crew worked at their stations. Dr. Lisa Carter bent over her science console while Commander Rick Hayes checked weapon systems. Lieutenant Amy Brooks sat at the communications desk with her headset on. Jake had commanded ships for 15 years, but nothing like this. Earth had built the frontier's edge for one purpose: to find other life among the stars. The ship carried the best technology humanity could build and the best crew Earth could provide. Jake knew they were making history with every jump through space. The first aliens they met were traders called the Million Exchange. Small gray beings who spoke through electronic translators and seemed more interested in what humans could buy than who they were. The second contact came with the Helix Confederation, tall blue creatures who treated the meeting like a business transaction. Both encounters left Jake feeling like humanity was just another entry in some cosmic phone book. But the third contact changed everything. Amy looked up from her station with worry in her eyes. Captain, I'm getting a massive energy signature approaching from the port side. It's big, sir, really big. Jake moved to the center of the bridge. Put it on screen, Amy. The viewing screen flickered and showed a ship that made the frontier's edge look like a toy. The alien vessel stretched for miles with dark metal hull covered in weapon ports. Strange symbols glowed along its sides in angry red light. Jake counted at least 50 gun turrets pointing in different directions. That's a Zephyrian dreadnought, Lisa said from her station. She had been studying alien databases for weeks. The Zephyrians control most of this sector. They're known as warriors who settle disputes through combat. A new voice filled the bridge, deep and harsh, through the translation system. Human vessel, you will halt and prepare for boarding. I am War Commander Thexval of the Stellar Dominance. You have entered Zephyrian space without permission. Jake stepped forward. This is Captain Morrison of the Earthship Frontier's Edge. We come in peace and didn't know this was your territory. We're explorers looking to establish friendly contact with other races. The alien's laugh sounded like grinding metal. Peace? Friendship? You speak like children. Space belongs to those strong enough to hold it. Your kind is new and weak. You will surrender your ship or be destroyed. Rick moved closer to Jake and spoke quietly. Captain, their weapons are powered up. I count over 200 energy cannons aimed at us. Our shields might hold for maybe 3 minutes under that kind of fire. Jake knew they were outgunned, but backing down would send the wrong message to every alien race watching. Word traveled fast between the stars, and weakness invited attack. War Commander Thexval, we don't wish to fight you, but we won't surrender either. If you want our ship, you'll have to take it. The alien was quiet for long seconds. You have courage, human, even if you lack wisdom. Very well. I challenge you to formal combat as our ancestors did. One ship against one ship. Winner takes the sector, and the loser submits to the victor's will. Do you accept? Jake looked around his bridge. Lisa nodded slightly while Rick's hand moved to his weapon controls. Amy waited for his decision. Jake knew this moment would be remembered forever, either as humanity's first victory among the stars or its last mistake. I accept your challenge, War Commander. Excellent. We will meet in the neutral zone between systems in 24 of your hours. Prepare well, human. Today you learn why the Zephyrians rule this part of space. The transmission ended, and the massive alien ship turned away. Jake watched it disappear into faster-than-light travel. "Captain," Lisa said, "I need to show you something important. I've been studying galactic military history, and there's something strange about how aliens fight wars." Jake joined her at the science station. Lisa brought up files on her screen showing various alien battles throughout history. "Look at these combat records," she said. "Every single engagement uses energy weapons, plasma cannons, laser arrays, particle beams, but nothing solid, no kinetic weapons at all." Rick joined them. "What do you mean, kinetic weapons?" "Projectiles," Lisa explained. "Bullets, missiles, railguns, things that physically hit the target instead of using energy. According to these records, no one has used kinetic weapons for over 10,000 years. Jake studied the data. "Why would they stop using something that works?" Lisa scrolled through more files. "The records aren't clear, but there are references to something called the Metal Death and Silent Thunder in ancient texts. It seems like kinetic weapons were banned or forgotten for some reason." Rick's eyes lit up. "Captain, what about our experimental railgun? The magnetic acceleration cannon we brought for planetary survey work?" Jake remembered the weapon. Earth Command had installed it as an afterthought, mainly for breaking up asteroids or creating landing sites on rocky planets. The railgun could launch metal projectiles at incredible speeds using magnetic fields. "Could we adapt it for ship combat?" Jake asked. Rick nodded eagerly. "It would take some work, but yes, sir. The question is whether it would be effective against alien shields." Lisa checked her data again. "According to these files, alien shield technology is designed to stop energy weapons. They create fields that absorb or deflect plasma and laser fire, but there's no mention of how they handle solid projectiles." Jake made his decision. "Rick, start working on the railgun modifications. Lisa, dig deeper into those historical records. Amy, monitor all alien communications about our upcoming battle. I want to know who's watching and what they're saying." The next 20 hours passed in frantic preparation. Rick and his team worked to recalibrate the railgun for space combat, while Lisa searched ancient databases for clues about kinetic warfare. Amy reported that word of the duel had spread across multiple star systems, with dozens of alien ships heading to watch the fight. As they approached the neutral zone, Jake stood on his bridge and looked out at the gathering alien fleet. Ships from a dozen different races floated in space like spectators at a sporting event. The massive Zephyrian dreadnought waited in the center of the zone with all weapons ready. "Captain," Amy reported, "I'm monitoring alien communications. They're taking bets on how long we'll last. The odds are heavily against us." Jake smiled grimly. "They don't know what we're about to teach them. Rick, is the railgun ready?" "Yes, sir. Loaded with a depleted uranium core projectile. Velocity will be approximately 12 kilometers per second on firing." "Good. Remember, everyone, we're not just fighting for our ship today. We're fighting for humanity's place in the galaxy." The war commander's voice filled the bridge again. "Human vessel, take your position. Let us begin this dance of death." The war ended not with humanity's surrender, but with the complete restructuring of galactic civilization. Ambassador Zethkri found himself requesting terms of surrender from the species he had come to intimidate. His flagship drifted powerless in space, while human vessels surrounded it like predators circling wounded prey. Captain Lisa Hayes received the alien surrender request aboard the diplomatic vessel positioned near Earth. She had been waiting for this moment ever since human intelligence first detected Council plans to demand submission. The aliens were about to learn what negotiating from weakness felt like. Zethkri to Human Diplomatic Command, came the transmission. The Galactic Council requests immediate cessation of hostilities and wishes to discuss terms for ending this conflict. Lisa smiled as she prepared her response. The aliens had started this confrontation by demanding unconditional surrender. Now they were begging for mercy from the species they had underestimated, Ambassador Zethkri. Lisa replied, "Humanity accepts your request for surrender negotiations. All Council fleets will power down weapons and await instructions. Human forces will provide safe passage to designated areas for discussion." Admiral Jake Morrison coordinated the acceptance of alien surrender from his flagship bridge. The Council fleet that had arrived to intimidate Earth was now completely at human mercy. Every alien vessel was surrounded by human ships and their crews were awaiting orders. Morrison. To all human forces, he broadcast, implement surrender protocols. All alien vessels are to be secured and their crews processed according to standard procedures. The galaxy is now under human administration. President Mary Collins addressed the United Nations General Assembly as reports of total victory came in from across human space. The alien species that had demanded Earth's submission were now petitioning for protection under human authority, fellow citizens of Earth, and our colonies. Mary began, "I can report that the Galactic Council's attempt to intimidate humanity has ended in complete failure. Alien forces have surrendered unconditionally and are requesting terms for continued existence. The transformation was swift and absolute." Dr. Rachel Stone established new communication protocols that gave humans complete control over galactic information networks. No alien transmission could occur without human approval and monitoring. Stone to Information Command, she reported, "Human. Control of galactic communications is absolute. All alien species now communicate through human-managed systems. We control all information flow." General Rick Turner oversaw the establishment of new military protocols as former Council forces were integrated into human command structures. The aliens had no choice but to accept human leadership in all military matters. Turner to Galactic Defense Command, he transmitted, "Former Council military units are being reorganized under human command. Structure: all alien forces now serve under human authority and direction." The speed of the transition shocked even human observers. Captain Kelly Brooks found herself administering former Vorthak military bases while alien officers requested permission for basic operations. The proud warriors who had threatened Earth were now asking humans for orders. Brooks to Colonial Administration, she reported, "Alien military installations are being transferred to human control. Former Council officers are adapting to human command protocols with surprising cooperation." Commander Alex Johnson discovered that alien resistance had collapsed completely. The species that had seemed so confident in their superiority were now eager to prove their value. To human administrators, fear had replaced arrogance in every alien interaction. Johnson to Psychological Operations. He transmitted, "Alien cooperation exceeds all projections. Former Council species are competing to demonstrate loyalty to human authority. No resistance movements detected. Dr. Susan Martinez established new research protocols that placed human scientists in charge of all galactic scientific advancement. The aliens had shared their knowledge, hoping for mutual benefit, but now all research served human interests exclusively. Martinez. To Research Command, she reported, Human control of galactic science is complete. All alien research facilities now operate under human supervision and direction. Captain Tony Mitchell administered the conversion of alien industrial systems to serve human needs. The manufacturing capabilities that had built the Council fleet were now producing equipment for human forces. The aliens worked to supply the military that had defeated them, Mitchell to industrial conversion, he transmitted. Alien manufacturing systems are operating at full capacity under human management production priorities, focus on human military and colonial requirements. Commander Steve Parker led patrols through former Council space, ensuring that the new order remained stable. His ghost. Protocol ships monitored alien activities and prevented any attempts to organize resistance against human rule. Parker to Patrol Command. He reported, "All former Council territories remain stable under human administration. No signs of organized resistance or rebellion detected in any system." The efficiency of human administration impressed even the aliens. Captain Jenny Price established trade networks that moved resources from alien worlds to human colonies with unprecedented speed. The Council had never managed their territory as effectively as humans did. Price to Trade Administration, she transmitted. Resource allocation efficiency increased by 40% under human management. Former Council worlds are producing more under our system than they ever did independently. Colonel Nathan King demonstrated the benefits of human biological sciences as alien populations began experiencing improved health under human medical care. The species that had feared human expansion were discovering that human rule meant better living conditions. King to Medical Administration, he reported, alien population health indicators show significant improvement under human medical management, life expectancy, increasing across all former Council species. Commander Kyle Anderson found that alien cultures were adapting to human leadership faster than anyone had predicted. The rigid hierarchies that had made Council species predictable also made them excellent. At following new authority structures, Anderson to Cultural Integration, he transmitted, alien societies are adapting to human authority with remarkable efficiency. Former Council traditions are being modified to support human administration, Admiral. Jake Morrison established his headquarters on New Geneva Station, a massive facility constructed in orbit around Earth that served as the capital of human galactic administration. The station symbolized humanity's new position as the dominant force. In Galactic Civilization, Morrison to Galactic Command. He broadcast, "Human administration of former Council space is proceeding smoothly. All alien species have accepted human authority and are contributing to galactic stability, Lieutenant Amy." Foster monitored communications throughout human space and marveled at how completely the situation had reversed. The aliens who had demanded human surrender were now grateful to be allowed continued existence under human protection, Admiral Amy reported. Communication intercepts show alien populations expressing satisfaction with human administration. Many are reporting better living conditions than they experienced under Council rule. President Mary Collins met with alien ambassadors in the White House as former Council leaders requested formal recognition as human protectorates. The species that had threatened Earth were now competing for closer relationships with humanity, Madam President. Ambassador Zethkri said during his audience, "The Vorthak Empire requests formal recognition as a human protectorate. We wish to contribute to galactic stability under your wise guidance." Similar requests came from every former council species as alien leaders realized that cooperation with humanity offered better prospects than their previous independence. The galaxy had learned that human rule was more efficient than alien self-government doctor. Rachel Stone established the new Galactic Constitution that formalized human authority over all spacefaring civilizations. The document guaranteed alien rights, but made clear that humanity held ultimate authority in all galactic matters. Stone. To constitutional administration, she reported, Galactic Constitution ratified by all former Council species. Human authority over galactic civilization is now legally established and universally accepted. Captain Danny Rodriguez oversaw the integration of alien military technology into human forces as former Council vessels were upgraded with human improvements. The aliens discovered that humans could operate their technology better than they could Rodriguez to technology integration, he transmitted. Alien military systems are being enhanced with human improvements. Former Council vessels show increased performance under human operation. The transformation was complete within months of the failed alien ultimatum. Commander Kate Morrison found, herself administering star systems that contained billions of alien inhabitants who looked to humanity for guidance and protection. Kate Morrison to Territorial Administration, she reported, alien populations are adapting well to human governance. Requests for increased human presence and involvement continue to increase. The galaxy had learned a fundamental truth about humanity. The species that smiled when threatened did so because they had already won before the fight began. Human preparation. Patience and adaptability had created a galactic empire without the aliens even realizing it was happening. The Galactic Council's worst fears about humanity were becoming reality, but not in the way they had expected. The alien species had worried that humans were too aggressive and unpredictable. What they discovered was something far more terrifying. Humans were methodical, patient, and absolutely ruthless when threatened. Colonel Nathan King demonstrated this as he activated biological warfare systems that targeted each alien species specifically. His soldiers moved through captured Council vessels, wearing protective gear designed from years of studying alien physiology. King to biowarfare teams, he transmitted, deploy species-specific countermeasures against all alien crew members. Council, biological data has been completely accurate, the Vorthak soldiers found their scaled skin burning from chemical agents that affected only their metabolism, while Zenthari crews discovered that humans had developed weapons that disrupted their unique nervous systems. Each alien species faced attacks, designed specifically for their biology doctor. Susan Martinez coordinated these operations from her laboratory on Ceres, where human scientists had spent 3 years developing targeted biological weapons. The aliens had shared medical information during peaceful exchanges, never suspecting it would be used against them. Martinez to Medical Warfare Command, she reported. All species-specific countermeasures are performing as expected. Human biological research has identified effective attack vectors for every Council race. What made this even more devastating was that humans had developed these weapons while maintaining friendly diplomatic relations with their targets. The Council had thought they were building trust with humanity, while actually providing the tools for their own defeat. Captain Jenny Price led boarding parties that captured alien vessels intact, and her teams demonstrated humanity's most dangerous trait, the ability to understand and operate foreign technology faster than its creators. Human soldiers were learning to use alien weapons during active combat. Price to boarding teams, she ordered. Capture all alien technical systems alive. Human engineering teams can reverse engineer their technology faster than they can adapt to ours, the Council. Ships had been designed with security systems that were supposed to prevent unauthorized access. But human technical specialists could bypass alien security faster than alien engineers could implement it. Commander Kyle Anderson showed how humans had weaponized concepts the aliens considered peaceful. During diplomatic meetings, humans had learned about council cultural rituals and social structures. Now those same rituals were being used as psychological weapons. Anderson to cultural warfare. "Units," he transmitted, "implement social disruption protocols using council religious and cultural symbols, turn their own traditions against them." The aliens discovered that humans had been taking notes during every cultural exchange recording. Religious ceremonies, studying social hierarchies, and mapping psychological pressure points. Human teams were broadcasting alien sacred music with subtle modifications that caused severe emotional distress. Dr. Rachel Stone had broken alien encryption systems so completely that humans could read council communications in real time, while the aliens couldn't intercept human transmissions at all. The information advantage was total and devastating. Stone, to Intelligence Command, she reported, maintained complete communication superiority. Council forces cannot coordinate while human units share perfect battlefield awareness. The aliens were fighting blind, while humans could see everything. Council. Commanders issued orders that human forces intercepted and countered before they could be implemented. Admiral Jake Morrison watched these operations unfold and felt satisfied with human performance. The Galactic Council had demanded surrender from a species they thought was primitive and chaotic. What they found was a military force that had been preparing for galactic conflict since first contact Morrison to all fleet commanders. He broadcast, "Continue demonstration protocols, show the Council exactly what human military science can accomplish." Lieutenant Amy Foster monitored alien communications and listened as Council commanders tried to understand how humans had achieved such complete tactical superiority. The aliens kept looking for some advanced technology or secret weapon, but couldn't grasp the real answer. "Admiral," Amy reported, "alien commanders are requesting explanations from their intelligence services. They can't understand how human capabilities exceed their projections by such enormous margins." The answer was simple, but alien minds couldn't accept it. Humans were better at warfare because they were better at learning. Humanity had studied every piece of alien technology, every cultural exchange, every diplomatic contact, and turned all of it into weapons. Captain Tony Mitchell demonstrated this principle as he led operations against alien underwater facilities. The Council had shared information about their aquatic bases, thinking humans might be interested in similar construction. What they didn't realize was that humans were mapping those facilities for future attacks. "Mitchell to aquatic assault teams," he transmitted. "All underwater targets, confirmed Council base layouts match. Our intelligence exactly. Proceed with capture operations." Human forces moved through alien installations using detailed maps created from seemingly innocent construction discussions during trade negotiations. The aliens had built their own defeat by trying to be helpful. Commander Steve Parker showed how human tactical thinking differed from alien doctrine. Council forces fought according to established procedures that had worked for thousands of years. Human forces adapted their strategies every few minutes based on immediate battlefield conditions. Parker to tactical innovation teams, he ordered, implement continuous adaptation protocols, change tactics faster than alien commanders can respond. The alien fleet had been trained to fight enemies who followed predictable patterns. Human forces changed their approach so rapidly that alien defensive systems couldn't adjust. Council crews found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to transform during battle. Captain Kelly Brooks led assault operations that demonstrated human logistics superiority. The aliens had assumed that human rapid expansion meant poor supply lines and inadequate support systems. What they discovered was the most efficient military supply network. In galactic history, Brooks to Logistics Command, she transmitted, all human forces report full operational capability. Council intelligence severely underestimated our supply chain efficiency. Every human colony had hidden military stockpiles, and every merchant vessel carried weapons disguised as cargo. The aliens had been watching human trade networks for years without realizing they were looking at a military supply system. General Rick Turner coordinated these operations from Earth Command and marveled at how completely the aliens had misunderstood human nature. The Council thought rapid expansion meant reckless behavior, but humans had been methodically preparing for galactic warfare. Turner to Strategic Command. He broadcast, "Continue systematic demonstration of human military superiority. Council resistance is collapsing on all fronts." President Mary Collins watched the reports from the White House and understood that this conflict would reshape galactic civilization. The aliens had thought they were dealing with an upstart species that needed discipline. What they found was a race that had been studying them for years. Collins to all government agencies, she ordered, "Prepare post-conflict administration protocols. We're going to be managing a lot more than just human space after this." Commander Alex Johnson demonstrated human psychological warfare capabilities as his teams exploited alien command structures. The Council species had rigid hierarchies that made them vulnerable to specific types of pressure. Human teams had identified these weaknesses during diplomatic contacts. Johnson to hierarchy disruption units. He transmitted, "Target alien command structures using species-specific authority challenges. Council leadership cannot adapt to non-hierarchical pressure." The aliens had shared information about their government systems, thinking it would help humans understand their society. Instead, humans had mapped every weakness in alien leadership. Structures Dr. Susan Martinez activated the final phase of biological warfare operations as human forces demonstrated complete superiority in genetic and biological sciences. The Council had thought they were more advanced, but human adaptability applied to biological systems as well. Martinez to biological superiority demonstration, she reported. Human biological sciences exceed alien capabilities in all measured categories. Council medical technology cannot counter human biological weapons. Colonel Nathan King watched alien forces struggle against human biotechnology and understood why the Council had been afraid of human expansion. They had sensed something dangerous about humanity but hadn't understood what it was. King to Biotechnology Command. He transmitted, "Maintain pressure on all alien biological systems. Human adaptive biology is proving superior to alien specialized systems." The truth was becoming clear to alien commanders, but they couldn't accept it. Humans weren't just another species competing for space. Humanity was something new in the galaxy, a race that could absorb, understand, and improve upon everything they encountered. Captain Danny Rodriguez coordinated final operations from Mars as human forces achieved total victory across Council space. The aliens had commanded humanity to surrender, but instead, the galaxy was surrendering to humanity, Rodriguez, to final phase operations, he broadcast. Complete systemat.